Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Elias here with Weekly Wrestling Heat. We're back with another episode. We're back on Facebook after my 30-day ban. Oh man, you gotta love Facebook and its politically correct statements.
Yeah, you.
Anyways, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
You and Izzy's parents. You and Izzy's parents do the same thing. You know.
I consider that an insult because I wouldn't bury MSK for a statement about my underage child getting trained in wrestling.
I don't know what's going on.
So reports have been that Izzy's parents, the famous Izzy character that loves Bailey, basically kind of go to WWE shows to bury MSK because of the fact that it wasn't West, but it was the other one.
Nash
Carter. He kind of came out and said something about Izzy getting a physical in the ring and stuff like that, and his opinion and stuff like that. So they kind of decided to bury him, and they got the NXT crowd to boo MSK now. So anytime there's a certain crowd of people that like to boo them and start talking mess about them. So if you ever see NXT and MSK comes out, you hear some boos. By the way, welcome Matt from Morning Hookah to the show, by the way.
Yeah.
Matt,
what is up?
Do you have any thoughts on Izzy's parents rifling the crowd to their side?
I don't know. Hold on a second. So I'm gonna go. I'm doing a story real quick on my Instagram because I need to say that I'm live right now on YouTube.com. Weekly Wrestling Heat. Is that what it's called, Elias? Weekly Wrestling Heat?
Weekly Wrestling Heat.
Weekly Wrestling Heat. Right now I'm live, going to be talking about professional wrestling, AEW, WWE, mainly the fact that Elias has a problem with Cody Rhodes that I don't fully agree with nor understand, and I really want to get to the very root and bottom of it. So yes, this is going to be a practice of Triple H style burying to try and create a full shot of what might be happening, because I got to know what's happening. So it's Matt from Morning Hookah. I am right now live on Weekly Wrestling Heat, youtube.com, Weekly Wrestling Heat. Come and join us, or at least watch the replay when things are done, because it's going to be, it's going to be a shit show, but it's going to be the good kind of shit show where you're going to want to hear about it. Because I think Elias, you're going to go in on me, right? That's how you're going to go in on me.
We're going to have a nice conversation, ladies and gentlemen.
A story real quick on my Instagram. Share that right now. Share that to the story right now. Done.
The fact that he has a phone that is almost like a book right now.
What about it?
Or is that your Nintendo DS?
Oh, it's my phone. It's the Microsoft
It's
Surface.
Your Windows phone.
It's an Android phone.
A phone now.
They do, but it's still ran by Android. It's still run by Android.
Team iPhone all the way. All right. Anyway,
what?
Matt,
let's do this.
Do you have
what do you want?
Do you have any thoughts on Izzy's parents calling out MSK and getting the crowd to boo them?
I think it's interesting because it's like whenever there's something that like real happens, like real heat. Right? Like they have real heat with Izzy's parents, right? So like for real, Izzy is creating a legitimate story that's happening behind the scenes and letting people in on it. A little bit of a work shoot, because obviously everything's
really dark now. I'm gonna get really
everything's
dark.
Real dark. Okay.
There's people in the crowd that yelled at Nash Carter, "Your dad is dead."
I mean, that's 70s heat right there. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? That's 70s. I guess I don't know. I don't follow it enough. I've been following NXT off and on since MSK first won the tag team belt, and I can't wait to talk about Halloween Havoc with you because I have a lot of opinions based on especially belt changes. I don't know. I don't know the situation strongly enough to give a better opinion, so I don't want to comment too strongly at the moment. I need more details before I start. But like to me, it sounds like a work shoot type situation with like 70s style heat thrown in there just to spice things up.
I think that's what it is, and I there's some of the heat that some of the stuff that was said was inappropriate to Nash Carter. So I believe that there's trash talking, and I believe that there's that rude kind of trash talking, like saying your dad is dead. That's something that, I understand you don't like the guy, but don't throw stuff out there like that. Either way,
if you found out that it was all a work, what would your opinion be?
I would actually laugh about it because I pretty much
I don't
got
think you
mad
can do
about
that. You can't laugh about it. Now you have to be mad at the fact that they were willing to go that far to do a work.
I wouldn't be mad about it because Chelsea Green lost her job because of it. So
what happened with that? I don't know. You got to fill me in. I don't know enough about WWE.
Chelsea Green also made some comments on Twitter about how Izzy shouldn't be in the ring because he's 13 years old and she wasn't trained, and they got the whole crowd to turn on her.
Who is Izzy? Who's Izzy? Wait a minute. I got to look this up. What do I need to search right now?
Izzy's a 13-year-old Bayley fan. You remember the Bayley and Sasha feud when Bayley ripped off the girl's bow in the audience and made her cry?
Maybe. I don't know. That sounds like a long time ago.
You remember
Izzy WWE
and Sasha Banks matches?
Izzy WWE Punky Brewster. Izzy meets WWE star. This sounds like a work, guys. It's Izzy Mania. Guys, I think this is a total work. Just from the
now now she's doing AEW reporting now. So she's doing WoW reporting. She's in the reporting business. She's legitimately in the business now. So she's doing stuff with WoW, AEW. She's doing stuff
Busted Open,
not for AEW, but about AEW and WWE and wrestling in general. So
she had a weekly segment. She had a weekly call on Busted Open as well, I believe.
I need to look this up because I can't find anything immediately. You'll have to send me something so I have a better idea. Izzy Punk pro wrestling debut appearance in ring action. That was 3 years ago. Guys, I don't know. I need to research more. I don't want to comment anymore. I don't want to say anything else because I don't know. I don't.
Anyways, getting into today's news before we get into our hot topics, into our segments. Bad news today. Ring of Honor is going to cease operations for the first quarter of 2022. They are releasing all the wrestlers, not renewing any contracts at the end of the year. Their final battle in December is going to be their final pay-per-view and final event taking place. Sinclair has decided to re-image Ring of Honor and are planning to come back in April, rebranded or come back reconceptualized.
Yeah, I actually got. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I got some insider information on this. So they're actually going to come back, and it's going to be called Ring of Honor 2.0, and they're going to use like bright colors, like fireworks and stuff like that, to really identify themselves. And that's actually what's going to have tie-dye everything. That just like my headband down right up here. Yeah, that's going to be ROH 2.0 colors.
I really hate you right now. I really hate you right now. But yeah, no. Thoughts go out to all the Ring of Honor people. They are letting them jump ship if they can, if they want to. They're able to work out a deal to get out of the deal earlier if they're able to sign with another company. They're able to work different promotions, indies, no matter what. They're allowing them to do this within now to December, and in January. Whoever wants to wait on the relaunch of Ring of Honor can wait and work indies, or if they want to sign with another company, that's up to them.
Yeah, I'm by no means also. I'm not shooting fun at anybody that lost jobs or is unable to produce income because of this. That joke was not to be taken seriously. That was purely a joke about how NXT 2.0 is basically just AEW light, basically. So that was all the joke was about, like the tie-dye and the fireworks. That was not me taking shots at the fact that ROH is going under or anything like that at all. I just want to clarify that before somebody yells at me for being an insensitive ass or something.
Or we get canceled on YouTube by the cancel culture. Anyways, moving on. That's pretty much the sad portion of today's news. Kind of sad, but kind of not. Greg Hamilton has been released by the WWE today as well. Greg Hamilton came on Twitter and said that it was mutual, but many others believe it was because of the comments he made about a superstar using his voice on a song. There's no telling. Like I said, it's a rumor until it's confirmed. From what we're getting from Hamilton, he's saying that it was a mutual pardon due to personal issues and other stuff going on in his life. So that's pretty much it on that. anyways, let's get into our hot topic today before we get into weekly recap. Cody Rhodes. So
Cody Rhodes.
We had an interesting conversation on our Facebook Messenger chat. Basically, it had to do with Cody Rhodes and the people booing him. So my comment was that he kind of reminds me, he's kind of getting the Cena heat, or it kind of reminds me of Cena. Matt disagrees.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna scroll up our chat real quick because I want to talk about what was actually said verbatim. Because the things that were said is what made me say what I said, and I don't want to cut off some of those items because I feel like we're losing a certain amount of the information by just like boiling it down to that. Because that's not what it came down to. Okay, so it started off by, I'm trying to scroll up right now, so give me just a moment while I scroll. Let's talk about Cody. I threw out a demand. I was like, "What time are you recording, Elias? I want to talk about this to you."
He actually used that as a disguise because he was so excited to talk about Tony D'Angelo that he wanted to make it seem like he wanted to talk about Cody, but in reality, he's here to talk about Tony D'Angelo the whole show.
Butts in seats.
Today's chats has actually been fun to be a part of today.
You said you didn't like Cody beating Malachi. You said you did not like Cody winning the third match in their series.
I did.
Malachi got the first big win when he first debuted. He got the second win in a deciding factor as well. And then they had a third fight. This is a well-told story to build a character, which is Cody, obviously, and even Malachi. Like, Malachi's not hurt from this. He's already won twice. Yes,
I still kind of want to see him.
It's Rocky. It's Rocky. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's the basic wrestling trope that we see very often, all the time, right? Like it's known that that's going to happen. Like, they had 3 matches. I'm surprised that it went 3 matches long, and I'm happy that Cody got the third win because Cody still has a place on the card of importance in this company, and he's still a big name in AEW. And here's what I didn't like about you saying he's John Cena. John Cena does not give up wins to new talent in the early days. Like when John Cena was big match John, when he was big match John, he did not give up big. I know. No, hold on. It wasn't until John Cena's Twilight. It wasn't until after the Nexus that he realized the damage that he was doing by burying new talent. One of the best things that ever happened to John Cena was losing to Kevin Owens and losing to AJ Styles. The AJ Styles, they did it the other way around, right? They had AJ Styles win multiple times on John Cena before John Cena got his win. And then they had AJ Styles get that final victory to completely create that stardom for AJ Styles. Like, AJ's already a star. I'm not saying that he didn't need a win. He didn't need a win over John Cena to be a star, but he did need it in the world of WWE universe to have it matter for him, to keep building the momentum that he was having. I don't understand what you mean by he's AEW's John Cena. Please define that.
Okay, so me saying that he's AEW's John Cena is because of the fact that he gets heat no matter what he's doing in the past couple of months. So he's the face of AEW in a sense. If you really want to be real about it, he's the face of AEW. If no matter, you could have Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, you could have all of them guys, but who's the one doing media? Who's the one doing the shows? Who's the one doing the big stuff? That is Cody Rhodes. That's the reason I say he's the AEW's John Cena, because he's the face that runs the place, even though he's not the main important guy in there. John Cena hasn't done anything for WWE till SummerSlam, and he still came around and was the face that runs the place.
I disagree.
I think he's the Miz of AEW. He's got the reality stuff. He's got the reality stuff. Hear me out. He's got the reality stuff. He does all the charity work. He did all the media tours, and he's liked by a portion. He's disliked by a portion, and people know he can work. I think I don't think he has the star power of a Cena, but I think he has the star power of a Miz.
I don't disagree with that. I think that that's a much more fair comparison between the two.
You know what? You know what? I will agree with Moise. I think it's a better, fair assessment than what I said. I agree. He has the reality show. He is a popular star. Shoot, the Miz is on Dancing with the Stars right now and killing it. What Cody has the Go Big Home show, whatever it's called. Like I've seen it. It's good. So okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Your brother
yeah,
also
my brother that he thought that he called him Triple H, and I also disagree with this analysis as well, because we do not see Cody Rhodes burying people. This is what I don't understand about the hate for Cody Rhodes, be it the internet wrestling fan and I'm not saying you hate him. I don't think you hate him. I do not think you do.
No, I'm actually an avid Cody Rhodes fan. I was with him when he went to Ring of Honor, Impact, and when he joined Bullet Club. Like I thought that the story that he did with Kenny Omega.
It's the neck tattoo, bro. That's what got Elias to turn. The neck tattoo is what got everyone to turn.
I don't understand that. I think it looks cool.
I do. My dad turned when he got the neck tattoo. That's what I'm saying.
Why? I don't understand what the hate is about the neck tattoo. I don't get it. I think it looks cool. Am I crazy?
Okay. So going back to my point. The reason I didn't like that Cody beat Malachi was because I wanted to see Malachi go on an undefeated streak.
There can only be so many undefeated streaks inside of AEW happening at one time. The only one that matters right now, in my opinion, is CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Even though Daniel Bryan doesn't have a true undefeated streak because he had a tie. So that's not really an undefeated streak anymore. So CM Punk is the only person with a meaningful undefeated streak. He's the only one that will be protected continuously for the undefeated streak. Do you disagree with that?
To an extent. I think that he's bound.
Who else is more important?
He's not losing to Bobby Fish, which is his next feud, if that's what you think.
No.
What?
I think he'll lose to Colt Cabana.
No,
I don't think they wrestle. I don't think Colt Cabana and him wrestle at all. But okay, so let's go back to the Triple H analysis. Triple H is and forever will be the man known with the golden shovel. He will never have done enough good in his career to ever erase that, even with the good things that he does in NXT. And the reason why is because even in his twilight, even at the end of his career, he still couldn't give up a win to Sting. He still couldn't see that Sting will always be a larger star than he ever in his wildest dreams would ever be.
Is that a him call or a Vince McMahon call?
He has enough sway in that company at this point in his career, at that point of that match, to say that the right man that should go over in this, especially with all the fucking bullshit that they had for the match with the NWO and the DX stuff come out, like the person that should have gone over was Sting. That's who needed to go out.
I agree on that. But at the end of the day,
but he gave up a win to Dolph Ziggler. He gave up a win to Roman. He gave up a win to Seth Rollins. He gave up a win to Brock. Like, he gave up a lot of wins in his twilight as well.
Not ones that matter as much, though, because he's in his twilight and he gave those wins up to people that were already on the upswing. It didn't matter if he did or didn't get those wins in the same way that it matters against someone like Sting, who was around during his heyday.
That
was all about protecting
the Sting
him.
one pisses you off the most. The Dean Ambrose one pisses me off the most. I think Dean should have.
I agree on that one.
But I was happy with it when Seth beat him because Seth is one of the biggest stars they have right now. Roman, I think we all knew was going to win. I think we all agree. Yeah. So the Dean Ambrose one was the one that irritated me the most. But I can see where you're coming from, Matt. Like, you're a Sting
I agree.
through and through.
I agree that Cody Rhodes needs to turn heel, and he needs to go on a really cool heel run because the fans want to boo him in a meaningful way. They only boo him now, ironically, at the moment, which is just because wrestling fans are all marks at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're all fucking marks. We're on a podcast.
What if he turns heel and they start going? What if he turns heel and they start cheering him?
Which is very possible. Which is because once he starts doing the things that people want him to do and he does it well, what do we do as fans, right? where we applaud that. Like you guys constantly tell me how great Roman Reigns is right now. Then he fucking sucks as a heel because he's already doing the thing that he shouldn't be doing as a heel, which is getting you to cheer for him. I don't understand that. Like, I was mad at the fact that Finn Balor beat or lost to Roman Reigns, and I know that Moise is a little bit more on my side on that one than Elias is. And Elias, you were defending him winning.
Opposite.
I actually wanted opposite. It was the opposite.
What? No. I thought it was Elias that was telling me that like the demon character is cool, but it was fine that he fell off the top rope and lost.
I was the one that was pissed off because the demon lost.
I just hated the ending. Elias said they could make the ending work or whatever.
Yeah. You defended the ending of that match.
Like I said,
they gave him superpowers, and he still lost because he fell.
Again, continuation of story didn't happen, so it pissed me off that the continuation didn't happen. They just went to another program afterwards.
But you knew that was going to happen.
Now Finn Balor is no longer on SmackDown; he's on Raw.
Going back to Cody.
I really thought that Finn Balor was going to beat Roman Reigns, and I even was cheering at the fact that
why do the superpowers at all if they're not going to have him win? That makes him look so weak. That makes Finn Balor so weak as the demon persona, and I don't have a problem.
Finn Balor losing to Xavier Woods makes him look weak.
Yeah, I agree with that too, but he wasn't the demon at the time. So there is a difference. Like, you don't bring on the big guns if you're not using the big guns. And if you do bring on the big guns and you still fail at that, then you're just neutering all your talent. You're just neutering it.
What about the demon losing to the Fiend?
That one's a toss-up because they're both larger than life characters, and they're both good guy, bad guy. Superman versus Darkseid, Superman versus the monster of the week and stuff. The problem was they didn't continue a program to have the demon eventually win it. That's the issue with that, because I think we would agree the Fiend is inherently the villain character, and the demon is inherently the good guy character, right?
See, this is my problem with WWE nowadays, and this is one thing that I will always say: the continuation of storylines sometimes just drops. They do something, build it up, and then they fuck it up, and then they drop it because of the fan backlash. They should have done something to make up for that bullshit ass.
It's what Triple H says, though. We don't have the attention span for a storyline that lasts a year. You guys are already tired of Hangman Page. I'm not. I want him to lose again.
I'm not tired of Hangman Page.
But when I said I want him to lose again the next pay-per-view and not get it till 3 pay-per-views down the line.
I disagree with that.
This
has been a 3-year feud.
3-year storyline with this stuff. He was supposed to be the first golden boy of AEW.
I want 4 years.
No, why? Because if he doesn't win it this time around, guess what's going to happen? People are going to lose interest in it.
In Page as a character, they are absolutely. They are
right after this, you go into an MJF feud after MJF beats Darby and Hangman beats MJF. He's right back up there.
Darby beats MJF. Darby beats MJF.
I disagree.
It is actually a more important win for Darby over MJF to get that win. MJF is so golden in this world, in this universe that AEW has created, that a loss versus Darby would mean nothing at the end of the day, because it still keeps the place on the card. But Darby losing to MJF would, honest to God, hurt Darby on his card position. It really would. It should. It absolutely should.
And the reason I'm saying that MJF is going to lose to Darby is because they're hinting the breakup between him and Wardlow. So you can protect MJF. If Darby beats MJF, he could basically place the blame on Wardlow for not helping him win, and then we get the Wardlow MJF feud.
But then the weird shit is MJF is going to win that feud, and what does that mean for Wardlow? What does that mean for him? That's an interesting. That's another. Anyways, let's go back. Hold on. Let's go back to Cody being Triple H, because I don't agree with that because Triple H I see as a guy that is always looking out for his position on the card, and that is not what Cody has done so far in AEW. He has brought on new talent, and not only has he brought them on, but he's continued feuds with them when he does bring them on. His first super important feud with like Shawn Spears, though that one was a little bit hit and miss, but I don't blame Cody for that. That's not on either one of them. That's just because you can't bring on 100 amazing pieces of talent and expect them all to win. Like that's just reality. Like you can't have Cody lose to Shawn Spears, and you can't have Cody lose to Warlow in that amazing steel cage match, and you can't have him lose to Ogogo. That's the thing that's something you said that I also want to talk about because you were annoyed that Ogogo didn't get a win over Cody Rhodes in his first professional fight. That's a continuation of the story against.
I think he would be happy if he knew Ogogo would. If he knew, which none of us cheer for injury, if he knew Ogogo was going to go out with injury afterwards, he would say he wanted Cody to win as well. I think I know Elias that well. If you knew Ogogo was getting hurt afterwards, you'd say Cody would win the feud.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But
just
should have not.
But no, but look at the trends. Look at the trends that are happening. Anytime Cody, the reason I can understand why your brother dubbed him the Triple H. Anytime that a big match happened, even though Cody put over Brody, guess what happened? We had the rematch. He lost, and Brody lost his place on the card.
But that was also because it turns out
same thing with Wardlow. Same thing with Wardlow. He faced Wardlow. Wardlow lost his place on the card. So the similarities, but also
a bodyguard doesn't have a place on the card. A bodyguard is where Wardlow stays.
It is. Warlow's reason to exist is to lose a match for MJF. We know that that's the case. That's the truth. Look at everything Warlow has done. It's lost to the big match before MJF. That's what Warlow's purpose is.
And then also Cody has the Nightmare Factory, which come on, NXT Nightmare Factory. Come on.
Oh my God.
Nightmare Factory. Come on, training ground, performance center.
But at the same time, like the thing about like Ogogo and stuff was that was a part of the storyline that he was involved with the what's the name of the other factory that they call it?
The factory.
His is just called the factory. The factory. Yeah. With that storyline though, like that match was like honestly the thing that sucked about that ending was not him beating Ogogo, which he should have done. There's no reason why he shouldn't have beat Ogogo at any point at all. But it was the fact that like there was no retribution. The problem is because we view Cody more as a heel, because we view him more as a heel, we expect somebody to get retribution on top of him. And that's the issue that we're mainly seeing is Cody should be a heel. So somebody needs to get the comeuppance on Cody Rhodes. And we're not seeing that right now. So it's frustrating to see him win on these bigger matches because in our mindset of him being a heel, somebody else is supposed to get that comeuppance, which I agree completely.
And he will never be as over as leather jacket, jean jacket, Triple H would either. That's what I'm saying. He's more of a Miz. I
think Miz is a much better assessment of him completely. I think that it's a bad generalization, personally, to call him Triple H or Cena. He is not John Cena. He is not Roman Reigns. He honestly, in my opinion, and I may be more of a mark for AEW than anyone in this room. I will own that 100%. Okay, but like I think Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes. I think that he is creating a world of his own, and I think he is doing things for AEW that are different than what WWE is doing with people like John Cena and what WWE is doing with Roman Reigns and all those things.
If he was truly a Roman or a Cena, he would have been the one to go to that time limit draw with Daniel Bryan.
Right?
Yeah.
But they realize that match mattered more for Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan and so much more. Because like, I mean, I think it's easy to say in hindsight right now that it would be more meaningful for Cody Rhodes to have a huge fucking banger with Daniel Bryan and stuff like that with Bryan Danielson. not on AEW though, and not even on WWE. All right, what are you talking about? That match was garbage. Which one?
I gotta remember.
That was not a good match. They've not had a singles match.
I'm just saying they had matches. I just didn't know which one was the best.
I don't think it's singles. I don't think they ever had a singles match. Daniel Bryan is another character that I want to talk about when it comes to what AEW is doing with him, because like for me personally as like a huge Bryan Danielson fan, I want to see him topple that mountain. I want to see him get to that title picture shot. But like, what is the road for somebody like him? And I don't really want to see CM Punk go for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't mind him going towards the TV title. In fact, I really wish AEW was going to do a program with him and Sammy Guevara for the TNT title. And I think it would actually be super good for CM Punk to get his win off of Sammy to get that title, and then have Sammy chase it back and win against CM Punk. I think that is money in the bank in so many ways. And that's only going to help Sammy through the loss and then back to the win. That could be huge. But that's booking that match.
I think they're doing a good job. I think they're doing a good job with Bryan Danielson, in my opinion. I think they're putting him in the correct matches, and the feud, even though I thought that he was going to be Kenny. I didn't want him to be Kenny because I still want Heyman to be the one to dethrone Kenny. I was pleased with the storyline that they're portraying with this.
AEW has done two of the best time limit draw matches in their short history that we could ask for, in my opinion. The first time limit draw with Darby and Cody was the best possible ending for that, and it built Darby Allin to where he is today. And to have a time limit draw with Hangman and that was the best way
Kenny
for that match.
Yeah, Kenny and Bryanson.
Yeah, that was the best way. The best way. I call them both. Just don't even worry about it. Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan. We'll just call them both the entire time. He's basically both those people now at this point.
No, I mean, I agree. I think that Bryan Danielson has the best position in AEW. CM Punk, I think they're just letting him catch his path again, or catch up with being out of the ring for 7 years. I don't have any problems with what they're doing.
Are you mad that CM Punk is beating all these young guys?
I really thought he could have afforded a loss against Darby, but that was just, me being a Darby fan. I like Darby. I like what they're doing with Darby.
That was the most interesting one because that was the most winnable in terms of the other character and stuff. Like, I thought it was cool. I'm assuming that a lot of the stuff that CM Punk is doing is because CM Punk wants to do it. That's my assumption. That's what I'm going off, right?
But also, the good thing I can say about CM Punk matches is that he manages to put over his opponent pretty well.
Yeah,
I agree. It's not a lopsided match. He takes a lot of the beating. And then comes back and does his own thing. So
he's getting that ring rushed off because he himself said he feels like crap right now. So he has
to be careful because CM Punk could easily turn into a Cena with 5 moves of doom. He could very easily do that because these matches are becoming extremely predictable and they're becoming very lopsided towards the end of the match, and we are expecting the outcome. And I think that will change once he goes against somebody on the upper card and we see what happens. He has to take a big loss soon. So a big loss, not with one of the little guys, not like an upset loss or something. He needs to take a big loss so that we remember that he is still beatable in AEW.
So I think Adam Cole's going to beat Jungle Boy, and I think Adam Cole's going to beat Punk down the line too, the first time.
Is Punk in the heavyweight title match, the competition?
No, he's not in the rankings yet. But
he's not in the bracket.
He's not in the world tournament that they got going on. He's not.
That's when Tony Khan's notes leaked. Remember, and it said Daniel Bryan versus Moxley is the next match we're gonna get. Which I don't even know how I feel about that. I don't like how they're turning Moxley heel right now. And
are they?
Honestly, I think the worst they're doing is I think they're trying to do the Darby treatment with Jungle, and I don't think it's working because I think Jungle Boy needs wins.
When was his last? He just won that triple tag team match or the 8-way tag team match, didn't they?
No, they lost
him.
That.
The one that who was that against again?
The Elite, but he beat
the Super. You're right.
He beat Brandon Cutler last whatever day the Dynamo. But it's Brandon Cutler. It's what we say about Wardlow. Yeah. He's there to take the L.
He's there even more so to take an L. All right, I think we've gone as far as we can with the Cody Rhodes stuff because obviously there's only so much we can talk about in terms of like this company is still young in overall value of these characters and even storylines, obviously. So I think that there's only so far we can go with it, and I think we've kind of rattled as much as we can go. So I think we're done with the Cody Rhodes segment. I think that we've come to the conclusion that he's not Triple H and he's not John Cena, he's not Roman Reigns, but Cody Rhodes is definitely Miz. Or he is just Cody Rhodes. In my opinion, he is just Cody Rhodes, and he's paving his own path, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Will his path leading down the path to greatness? We shall see.
Let's touch on Dynamite a little bit, and then we'll finish with Halloween Havoc. So Dynamite, I'm digging it. I don't like the whole it coming on different days of the week. I think it's really weird. But once they can't get to TBS fast enough. Once they get to TBS, they're on a steady schedule. I think it'll be much better for them. But the one thing I want to my main complaint is I don't like these these up and comers, quote unquote, that they're having Punk beat. Even though, yeah, I get it's to knock off the ring rust, I just feel like there's a better way you can do it. I'm loving Sammy. I'm loving Miro. Moxley's the only thing I'm iffy on right now because I think they are turning him heel. And I want Eddie Kingston to win the tournament, but he won't.
Man, I want them to do something with Eddie Kingston that feels meaningful for him as an Eddie Kingston fan. But like, I think that this has shown that Eddie Kingston is really just there to be a high class jobber and
Eddie
to be
Cesaro. That's what he is. He's their same as Cesaro. He'll be in a world title match once every blue moon that he'll lose. He'll get a mid card title match that he'll lose. Then he'll pick up some wins and repeat. Right.
Yeah.
Basically.
I think so. I think that this week's version of Dynamite was a good overall Dynamite, like in a general sense. I don't think that it was. I think it was as good as a Saturday Dynamite was going to be, and I think that they did a decent job in propelling certain storylines forward that they needed to. And I think it also shows just how much talent AEW really has right now. And I'm not saying that as a diss towards WWE. I'm talking about it just as like a fan of watching AEW. I think that they're still doing a good job of mixing up talent and mixing up matches. I wish we had more straightforward matches with a little bit less stick in it. Just in terms of like a tag team match. I'm pretty annoyed that FTR's first big win in AEW was against the Lucha Brothers for their AAA tag team title. Like I thought that was weird.
They've won the AEW titles.
No, they didn't. They just won the AAA titles. They didn't win the AEW tag team titles.
They beat the Bucks for a title.
Did they? They haven't been the tag team title champions.
Yes,
what?
They have. They were.
What?
They beat the Bucks and then they got defeated again by the Bucks to regain the title.
Man, that must have been a flash in the pan. How long were they? How long were FTR champions?
I think like 190 something days.
I'm gonna look this up real quick. FTR wins tag team AAA tag team titles.
Just go to Wikipedia and look up the tag titles for AEW. It'll give you all the rings. Okay. But other than that, I like the way they're building the MJF Darby storyline.
I really enjoy that. Only thing that kind of got me scared was the Lance Archer thing, the spot that
they were only tag team champions for 63 days.
I thought it was longer than that, but it was
They beat Kenny and Adam Page. So it's been SCU for 83 days, Kenny and Adam for 228 days, FTR for 63 days, the Young Bucks for 302, and then right now we have the Lucha Brothers at 52. So which I'm assuming the Lucha Brothers are going to go a while longer with it, I bet, and easily another 2-3 months, maybe even 6 months. But FTR has been the lowest reigning tag team champions. Mm-hmm. By far. It
was a big win.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, you're right.
Because that was, you know why? I remember now, because that's when FTR almost got Hangman to turn on Kenny when they started befriending him and getting him into the bar, blah blah blah, and do all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
How do you feel about the MJF Darby build up, Matt? I think you're a fan of it as well, right? Like,
I am. I think that they're doing a very good job. appealing to both sides of the crowd, right? They're appealing to MJF's extreme vulgarness, and they're appealing to the sympathetic character of Darby Allin, which I don't think they have done enough, because Darby Allin is the sympathetic babyface. That's why he gets his ass kicked the entire match and then has a big winning spot at the end of it, is because he's the super sympathetic babyface. But I think we all got annoyed with Darby Allin.
You come around on that, right?
Well, didn't we all come around a little bit on that? Because I thought we were all at the point where we were a little bored of Darby Allin matches during the TNT run, right?
I was enjoying it. I remember I kind of got ganged up on because I was like, I'm kind of digging what they're doing with it.
We both had a problem with the way that he beat Matt Hardy, though. Remember, like that was my sour point for the TNT title. Is we both said like, why keep on pushing the spot with the chair and the what's it called, the his finisher. What's the hell? Twist of Fate. His Twist of Fate on the chair. Why keep teasing that spot and do it, and then not have Matt Hardy win that match? Why even do the spot at all and not have Matt Hardy win it? That's what got me to the point of being done with Darby Allin for a little while. Because the sympathetic babyface can only work if he has like a meaningful way of winning the match at the end of the day, not through magic. And he's just like, oh, look at how resilient he is. Because physical bodies can only take so much. It's my same problem that happened with Hell in the Cell. For this the recent WWE pay-per-view where they had Edge come out and win when he's being beaten in the face with a steel chain. Like bodies aren't able. Like, oh, that's annoying. Especially because what does it do for Edge to get a win over Seth Rollins? Though I will say that Seth Rollins is past the point of being a rising star, and he's just at the plateau where he's going to be for the rest of his career inside of WWE at the same time. So like I get why like neither win or loss hurts either guy meaningfully. But it still seems very odd to give this. At the end of the day, Edge is going to quit wrestling before Seth Rollins quits wrestling, right? Right?
Yeah. I think they might quit at the same time.
You know what? I'll give you that. That's a very good possibility. I'll give you that.
Because no. Because I think it was either the Broken Skull session with Stone Cold that Seth Rollins had. I actually watched it, and he says that his contract is almost up in a couple of years, so he's debating whether he wants to continue or actually spend more time at home with his child. Yeah. So that's it. Nobody really knows what he wants to do. I think Seth Rollins has accomplished everything he can in WWE. He was NXT
I think the hiatus would be good for him. Let him take like 6 months off. And
or even could you imagine the pop if he came back at like the next year's WrestleMania and you heard "Burn It Down"? Like that would be a huge pop for Seth Rollins.
Even if so, he's the next challenger for Big E. If they put Big E over and he disappeared until not Rumble, but like maybe Mania, like bring him back for a Mania storyline, I think it could work because he still gets that 3-4 months off. Don't even have him in the Rumble. I think don't even put him in the Rumble.
This year's Rumble is going to be kind of interesting again. Like I'm excited for the Rumble for a lot of reasons. The Rumble is where I come back. I always come back to WWE during the Rumble. I watch the Rumble and then I watch the next like 6 months of wrestling for WWE and I pay all the attention to it. So like I'm interested in this year's Rumble because it's my favorite match of the year. And I mean, honestly, they could do some cool things in terms of that for sure.
This guy's going to have 15 acknowledge me shirts by the time the year is over.
Roman Reigns is still stupid. You guys are crazy.
I think that the past couple of years, the Rumble has been really exciting on the men's side, even on the women's side. We've had some good moments with the women too.
I agree.
But on the men's side has been some holy shit moments. So I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of more of those next year.
What year? Things I want to touch on really quick before we'll dive into WWE right after. Britt Baker, I think she's getting the Roman Reigns treatment now. I don't think there's enough challengers for her. I don't think they know what they're doing. And I'm really digging the undercard storyline with Leo Rush. I think he can get Dante Martin super over.
Yeah. I'm not tired of Britt Baker. I'm not tired of her, but I need to see her have a meaningful feud now and not just one-off matches again.
I'm wondering who I like so far. I've liked Britt Baker's reign. And that's because I've always been pro Britt Baker from the get-go because I always thought that she should have been the face when she turned heel.
I agree.
She should have been champion when she turned heel, but her injuries kind of stopped that. But I agree. I want a meaningful storyline. Who
It
out of
has to be Thunder
everybody?
Rosa or Jade Cargill, right? Like
It has to be Thunder Rosa. It has to. Jade has not won me over yet. I want to talk about Jade Cargill because she has not won me over. I don't think what they're doing with her is working, and I do not think that she is the person that I don't think that AEW is treating Jade fair at this point anymore. I don't think that Jade.
She was number 2 on the pro wrestling tees for women's side for a long time. So she's getting that fan. I don't know if it's her fan base. Maybe it's the NBA fan base that just trickled in during the Shaquille O'Neal stuff for a little bit. I don't know what it was. I personally like Red Velvet, but she is greener than goose shit. I think it has to be a Thunder Rosa as well. If it's not going to get Jade Cargill, I think you can wait another 6 months on. But
who else? Who else could it possibly be besides Thunder Rosa?
If they did a longer feud with Ruby, I think it would have meant a lot. Like even if Ruby lost the feud at the end, I think it could have helped Britt a lot.
Well, they're not done. They're not done, are they?
Yeah, Ruby's going after the TBS title now.
Oh, that's right. I guess so, huh? I agree that they should have kept that going a little longer. And I don't really like Ruby Soho very much. Am I crazy for thinking that?
I think the entrance music is what's getting her over. I don't think it's her.
I do too. I don't really care for her. I don't care for her over dramatics in the ring, and I don't like. She's not a bad wrestler by any stretch. I would never say that she's not talented in the ring, but like, there's something about her style that just doesn't appeal to me. There's something about like the dramaticness of like the way she takes a move or like the way that she prepares for her come up spot. Like, there's something about Ruby that I'm not like a big fan of. I don't know what it is.
It's what some people are with Dolph Ziggler. They think he oversells, and then when he hits the big move, he gets too excited. A lot of people had that criticism with Dolph Ziggler. I love Dolph personally, but I don't think Ruby's the type of character that he do. She's a punk rocker, you know? Like, I want Ruby to have more of a hard-hitting, slower-paced style.
I agree with that completely. We should talk about Halloween Havoc because it's getting pretty late in the night.
Halloween Havoc. Before all this, Tony D'Angelo, Matt, I need to know.
What do you need to know? He's goofy, and I guess like I get why you might like him, but like I can't. Okay, here's the thing: you asked me to watch a bunch of his vignettes and like try to look up his matches and stuff like that, like off camera, like throughout the day and stuff. And like I can't get a good feeling of a person based on like trying to like cram all this stuff into my time frame. I need to watch it live happening so that I can enjoy the time that I'm watching it, because I'm not someone who likes to look up vignettes for people like just randomly. I want to watch the show unfold as it happens so that I can enjoy the storyline that's building. And you can't get all that from just watching vignette match. You need to watch the entire thing unfold. So like, I'm not ready to settle my opinions on Tony at the moment, but I can say that he's definitely goofy, and I think that there's a place for goofy in professional wrestling. So it could be good.
On the Tony train.
I actually am. I like Tony D'Angelo. I like the fact that every time the stuff that he does, the little stuff that he does is fun. Like there was a segment yesterday when they were doing the Halloween party, when he bribed his way to get into the show with what's her name? I forgot already her name.
Andriel Howard. Last legend.
Yeah. So that I thought that stuff like that is showing the people like the character, regardless of how cliche it seems to have a Chicago character, you know, a Chicago monster character. It works for him, and the crowd.
Do you think
over with the crowd?
Do you think he's a little bit of a shot at Taz?
I think he's a shot at Enzo. I think he's a shot at
I think he's a shot at Enzo.
Yeah, but do you think he's a little bit of like a shot at like Taz being that like Brooklyn tough guy and stuff like that a little bit? Like they're making fun of that, like, oh, so you're a tough guy, are you? Like, I don't know.
So I know you haven't watched his matches, but he done it in the ring too. Like the guy will have the guy he's facing will have a comeback, and he'll slap him down the ground. He'll be like, "Forget about it," and it's great stuff.
It's great. It's the selling. It's the way that he carries himself in the ring, outside the ring, has a character. He's staying true to his character, so that's what makes me like him a lot.
So Matt did say, go ahead, finish up, and then I'll make my comment.
Will it work if he goes to the main roster? I don't know, because NXT crowd is completely different than the WWE than the main roster crowd. So
NXT internet crowd is different than main roster crowd. Like that's like, because the crowd of the NXT doesn't matter. They're just there to enjoy the show because it's a very small environment. It's a very intimate setting and stuff like that. But like the internet.
So I know that you don't like the new because I know you just threw out a shot against the new NXT 2.0, but I really am enjoying the flow of the show nowadays. I think it's more.
I got a question for Matt on that page. So NXT 2.0, when you watch it, Matt, it's like a brand new thing to you now, right? Like it's all these characters being thrown at you at once. It's this is Rick Steiner's nephew, or like, why the hell is Mandy Rose back, or whatever, like, so there's so many stories. And you said,
and honestly, I like that. Watching Halloween Havoc, because there were so many title changes, and I thought they did a good job of giving promos before each one of the matches, as they always do. I want to say real quick that watching NXT always reminds me how much better produced the show is than AEW will ever dream to be. NXT, as small budget as they are comparatively to like Raw or SmackDown, is so much better produced than AEW will ever dream to be. I don't think AEW will ever get to that level.
You have Triple H, Road Dogg, and Shawn Michaels. You have 3 good friends running it, right? So it's much more.
It is so well produced. It is so, and it looks so well shot the entire time as well. Like, it is a better show. It is a better show in terms of what you are seeing than AEW may ever hope to produce, to be 100% honest with you. I think that that's an amazing feat that they're able to do night in and night out when it comes to NXT. And when it comes to this Halloween Havoc, I like the way they do it's not a pay-per-view, but a pay-per-view show. I like that. And I think that they did a really good job with Halloween Havoc for me as a lapsed viewer to want to use this as a jumping on point and start watching it more regularly to really enjoy the content of NXT. And I think they do a really good job of that, where there was enough new champions crowned, there was enough storyline matches that were made, and then you still had Tommaso Ciampa, someone who I'm familiar with, and he's still the champion. I think everything they did for Halloween Havoc was a knockout of shot for them. I thought they did a great job with Halloween Havoc.
Okay, I want to say this right now. I want to go on the record. Raquel Gonzalez is going to be final 2 or win the Rumble. I'm calling that right now.
I can see that. She has.
Well, she can drop her. Oh, she did. She lost. Yeah. So I think that's definitely a possibility. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
I think that one thing that WWE has done good this year is push the NXT girls to the moon. Look at Bianca Belair. Regardless of her loss. Regardless of her loss to Becky, I think right now her stock is pretty high.
I think Rhea's the only one we're kind of down on.
Well, they're not doing anything with her, and that honestly, that social media post where they showed her without a belt and her 2 friends with belts, I thought that was not good. I thought that made her look weak.
Well, it was because 30 minutes later she won the tag title, so didn't they put up the picture with her with the belt again?
Yeah, I didn't see that. The second picture. I didn't see the second picture.
Yeah.
See, I'm
when she won the tag team titles, she ended up posting with the 2 champions.
And then she lost. Then she physically lost the belt. Like, it got lost in her luggage.
You're right. Triple H was right, because I don't have enough time in my brain to pay attention to a year-long storyline. I don't even have enough time to stay invested in a week storyline. So I guess Triple H was right if you really think about it. All right, so let's break down this little bit of Halloween Havoc.
Yeah,
I didn't like what they're doing with Johnny Wrestling. I've missed a couple weeks of NXT, but I don't like this new Johnny Wrestling character, and I don't like him friends with. Maybe I just need to let it grow on me a little bit, because I was not a fan of this. I was not.
You didn't watch any of the wedding stuff, right?
No.
The Indian Dexter wedding. So the whole thing with Johnny with the father that didn't want Indy to get married to Dexter. She finally did. They stuck onto the honeymoon. Dexter showed him like 12 condoms, but didn't say a word. And so last week, Carmella was bragging. Last week, Carmella was bragging about winning the title, and Johnny's like, "Well, me and my son-in-law want to get that title back," and that's where this is starting from.
I don't know. Maybe I just got to let it grow on me. I didn't care for the.
It's an Addams Family type of storyline. Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't know. I'll give it some time to simmer, and I'll report back on my opinions of it. I don't know how I feel about this Joe Gacy character. I don't know how I've seen when they did the woke character, and now he's doing the hippie, peace-loving, still the leftist style character and stuff. I don't know if I like it or not. I can't tell if I'm enjoying it or if I feel like they're taking too many shots at me to enjoy it fully. I can't tell yet. I need more time to hear him talk.
I think they're taking shots at our friend Tristan.
I'm not that far off from Tristan. I'll tell you that. So I feel like maybe
there.
I stand with him. Did you like the Chucky stuff?
You're gonna do it. Sci-fi probably.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I did enjoy it. Here's one thing I will say about NXT. What they're kind of not doing, but they're doing. They're with Braun Breaker. They're not acknowledging his family by giving them the Steiner name, but he has a lot of respect from the NXT locker room because he's making a name out of himself without using his.
The barking, the crowd getting into the barking now. The same gear.
Oh my God!
And then the Chucky segment with him and Braun Breaker was gold. It paid the perfect tribute to it. So it's like, yes, they're not giving him what they like the Steiner name. They're not letting him do that, but they're letting him make his name without the Steiner name, and that's one thing that I like. I didn't like the name at first, but now I'm starting to dig the character. I'm starting to dig what he's doing in the ring.
He sounds so much like Rick. It's amazing how much he reminds me of
Scott.
He looks. He reminds me of early Rick Steiner, like to a T, like with his vocalizations and stuff. I really like him.
They have to do a Steiner match segment with him down the line. The Scott Steiner Impact. They have to do that. But do you like Braun Breaker, Matt? Are you hopping on the train?
Yeah, I'm absolutely hopping on the train. I thought that he had a great showing against Tommaso Ciampa. I think Tommaso is a really good, big opponent for him to lose against. I thought that it still keeps his stock and his value in NXT well. The match was a banger. Like, the entire feud is looking good. He's not ready for the championship yet, and he didn't win it, and that was the right call. And now we see growth. Now we get to see more growth from him, and it will just be a bigger pop when he eventually wins it. Because I just think he has to be the guy that they want to put it on next, right?
That's most definitely this storyline is going to continue. So it's no secret about it. He's going to be the next NXT champion. They're just going to build it to. They're going to probably build it to the NXT before Rumble or the NXT before WrestleMania before he actually gets the title, because they want to make this win meaningful for him.
If you want to make it meaningful, they need to do the NXT title match on WrestleMania. I'm ready to see that happen already.
I mean, they're 2 nights, so
I completely agree with you. It's not just 2 nights. It's in Dallas. Maybe Matt will come down. Speaking of people we're getting behind, I love the third Uso, Solomon Sika. I think he did a good debut with him. I think he looks like $1 million.
I wanted to ask about him because he is an Uso.
Yeah.
Yes. He's Rikishi's son.
Boy, he looks exactly like the Jimmy and Jay. So I thought so, but I wasn't sure. But he looks exactly like Jimmy and Jay.
He does.
Yeah, he does. And then going back to what I said about Raquel, I think Io and Raquel are going to be the final 2 in this year's Rumble, because I think they've done all they can do in NXT.
There's no way, because there are 2 NXT. I would be shocked if they had 2 NXT women. Are they going to make it to the main? Are they going to make the call up before then?
That's what I'm saying. What if one gets called up after Survivor Series, and then the next one gets called up at Rumble?
Then I think that could work. You'll never see 2 NXT people be the last two, because I think that'd be a weird message to send to like the locker room and stuff. But I think that it'd be a cool nod and throwback, and I think it'd be meaningful for them to be the last two, like that, like you're saying. I think that'd be a good idea.
And I also think all the Charlotte Flair stuff is a work. I'm going to go out and say that right now. I think it's building to the Charlotte Becky match. I think they're fooling all of us. I think we're all idiot marks right now.
I think right now, at first I thought it was legit, but seeing some of the stuff I've been seeing online, I'm starting to think
Story still wouldn't be leaking about it. Story would stop leaking the day after. Yeah.
The only time stories leak ever is when it's a work. That's the only time it leaks.
Yeah. So and come on, Charlotte Flair leaving WWE.
Why wouldn't that work though? So Justin, my brother, in our group chat that we have, and he's been on the show before, a friend of the show. He said that he didn't know if people would take Charlotte Flair seriously if she ever left WWE, that she has too much of that WWE stink on her. I don't think that's true. I think there's very few wrestlers, female or male, that would actually be able to, like, everybody would get a pop on AEW if they had premiered after leaving WWE. Every single one would. And I don't know why they wouldn't.
Except Braun. I think everyone except Braun.
I think Braun would have got... If Braun would have gone up against Big Show to start off his AEW feud?
Okay.
I think so. Okay, so for the non...
Because I was surprised Big Show got the big pop that he got on AEW. That was shocking to me.
Even Henry, yeah.
Even Henry.
Well, it was because those two...
Henry's a legend.
Well, no, hold on. It was because those two guys were considered to be WWE to the end. So the fact that they left WWE made it even bigger. Same thing with Braun. He wouldn't get that much of a pop because the fans are still holding what he said about indie wrestling to heart.
What did he say about indie wrestling?
That they work for a hot dog and a handshake and they'll never be as big as him, which is true.
That's true. I hate to say it because it's mean, but it's true. It's a different world. It's a different world.
Yeah. But people still hold that shit to heart. And that's that. And like, even now that he hasn't appeared anywhere, people are still kind of like, waiting to see where he goes. To see
it's not as bad as Ryback. It's not as bad as Ryback when he left.
He has Braun. Let me put it like this: if Braun appears, yes, it's going to be a big deal, but it's not going to be a bigger deal as if, saying for example, Seth Rollins leaves and appears in AEW.
But Braun appearing on Impact is less meaningful than Braun appearing on AEW.
I think honestly, Braun's going to go to Impact for 6 months and be back in WWE really soon. I think eventually Raquel will be a star. I think she'll be one of the biggest stars in their women's division. And her and Braun being in a relationship, I think, is going to help a lot. I told Elias this months ago. I was like, if Raquel becomes a star, there's no way they're going to keep her and Braun apart.
I mean, she already is. So it's like one of those things that they're going to...
But she's not a star to Vince yet. She's not a star to Vince. She's a star to Triple H. If she goes out and Rumble, gets a huge pop, wins the thing, then she'll be a star to Vince, right?
Yeah.
Will she? Because like even Vince had a problem with Rusev Day, saying that he thought that they were mocking Rusev. So you got to be careful, because if they think you're too big of a star, then all of a sudden they're just mocking you.
I think he looks at women different, and I think Bianca is the perfect example, because Vince could have easily made the hair gimmick something stupid, right?
Yeah, and it's pretty minimum, honestly. It really is.
And honestly, like, he did it with Sasha Banks too. Remember, in NXT, people were told Sasha's ratchet. He could have easily gone with a ratchet storyline for her. So I think with the women's division, he's a little more hands-off, because I don't know why. Maybe because there's so many less women on the roster that when he sees them, he remembers them.
Doesn't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, also, you got to remember who's producing the matches for the women in the main roster. That's TJ Wilson. So TJ Wilson has trained a lot of these women in NXT and main roster. So and also they all strive to be like anybody that's come through NXT has strived to be like the 4 horsewomen of WWE. So So they're
One
trying to
last
take the
question.
top spot there.
One last question for Matt, and then we'll wrap it up. The women's ladder match, Matt. What did you think of it?
There were some good spots. Holy shit. When Io fell off the ladder, I was fearful for her life. I had to rewatch that spot multiple times. Like, I thought it was an impressive spot. Holy shit. I thought it was one of the best female ladder matches, bar none. And I don't even know how many I've seen. Like, it was better. Here's the thing is, you guys have talked to me enough to know that I'm not a big fan of like brutality necessarily in matches. I understand wrestling is a brutal sport and stuff, but like, I'm not a big fan. It's weird because like I will watch death matches and I will even enjoy death matches, but they're not like my preferred style of watching professional wrestling. And this one held a really good mixture of like technical wrestling, high spot wrestling, dangerous spot wrestling, all those different aspects all into one. And I thought they did a really good job, though. I think they ended that match a little soon because they lingered on her at the top of the ladder for like what felt like an eternity. I think that match ended about 8 minutes too soon than it should have ended because they needed to like buy time and just keep showing her holding up that one belt.
Well, they had the 30-minute show. They had the first 30 minutes commercial free, so I agree with you. I think they were like, let's get to the 5-minute mark where we can have a quick squash match and then go to commercial, right? I think that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah. But it was a really good match, and it introduced me. That's the other part of it. It introduced me to Toxic Attraction so well, and it even reintroduced me to Io Shirai and Zoe Stark, who I had completely forgot about. Okay, I completely forgot about Zoe Stark as a wrestler, but Io Shirai reintroduced me to her and her ability and her skill, and like she has this great persona about her, in my opinion. But like I like this Toxic Attraction. I think that they're very cool.
I think Indy Hartwell was really good in the match too.
Yeah, I agree. I was on the fence about
Indy Hartwell. She is Johnny Gargano's quote unquote daughter.
Yeah. I know you're really big on her. You're really big on her.
Honestly, I thought that I was on the fence with Toxic Attraction at first, because I thought it was just gonna be like the supermodel, we're the bad B club and stuff like that. But I actually like what they're doing with them. I was 50-50 on Mandy Rose dethroning Raquel, but I can see why they put the titles on the tag team and they put the titles on her.
What a good way to have Raquel lose it, though. What a good way. I thought like I'm never a fan of like outside interference, but like I'm still a big fan of protecting your talent, and I thought that was a great way to have her lose. Look super strong.
I'm super excited to see this next match between her and Dakota Kai, because this is a grudge match. This is going to be a pretty good match, just with no title involved, just one-on-one. I think this is going to be good, and the build-up that they're going to do on it is going to be pretty good as well.
And I think,
and the reason why I asked
versus Mandy as well.
And the reason why I asked about Chucky and what your thoughts were is because I enjoyed to have the Chucky wheelhouse cartwheel of pinwheel of doom and do the trick or treat special and stuff. I thought that was pretty fun, and I like fun in wrestling. I've never been somebody who's fun. I mean, I'll probably. Is it on? What channel is it on?
Sci-Fi.
I probably will never watch Sci-Fi Channel ever. I don't have Sci-Fi Channel. I'm not watching Chucky. Chucky is not my youth, nor do I give a shit about a little doll that terrorizes people. I don't care about Chucky.
So you're not a Sharknado guy either?
No, I watch good movies.
So not the Sharknado with Seth Rollins involved?
I do. Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit. I'm sorry.
Anyways, apart from that, I thought that pretty much I was gonna talk about the Uso debut, and I liked it. I think he has a good future too. I think once Braun Breaker beats Ciampa, I think that we're probably pretty much gonna see Braun Breaker versus the Uso.
I think it's gonna be Gacy, as much as I hate to say it.
I don't think they did a good job with Gacy yet. I need to see more. I'm still pretty uninvested in NXT full, so I need to give it a few more weeks to kind of get a better idea of what
the Parker Boudreaux character name now. I keep forgetting it.
Harlan.
I think Harlan might be something that somebody that Gacy's going to use to his advantage, kind of like a Wardlow type of situation. But in this case, Harlan is going to be kind of like AJ Styles and almost. But with Harlan being the actual real deal, and then he's gonna break away from Gacy and cause havoc on NXT.
Matt,
Is there anything you want to talk about? I hate Omos so much. I hate him so much.
He can do a roundhouse kick.
I don't want to talk about Omos at all. I'll leave right now if you want to start talking about Omos.
Okay.
All right. So
bad.
So before we go, thoughts on the new rosters for Raw and SmackDown? Yay or nay?
Don't know enough.
Yay.
Moise?
Yay.
Are you cool? Are you cool with Xavier, King Xavier, and Queen Zelina?
I love Queen Zelina and I love Queen Xavier.
I really enjoyed Queen Zelina's segment on Raw. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I see how fast you like her Instagram pictures. I know. I do too. It's okay. I do too. But yeah, no, I think this is a good way for them to be like, Zelina stayed here, her husband left. Should our thank you to her.
I got nothing
All right,
for that.
ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our show. I want to thank Matt for joining us. If you want to see more from Matt, please subscribe to Morning Hookah on YouTube and Instagram. Morning Hookah, he is coming up with some good content as well. He was the host of the Hookah Expo.
I was the host of the Hookah Battle at Hookah Expo Worldwide in Las Vegas. I was the MC, the person behind the scenes getting everything ready. I saw Moise for exactly 10 seconds, and I still feel bad that we did not get to hang out or do anything.
You know what our conversation was? Matt was like, let me just go do this thing really quick, and I'll be right back. And I'm just waiting there 20 minutes later, and I'm like, all right, maybe
I didn't see you anymore, and I didn't know where to go. I was running around. You saw me running. I was running around getting stuff taken care of. It was a lot of fun. I have an entire vlog. If you want to see my adventure through Hookah Battle, check out youtube.com/morninghookah, and you can see the entire vlog of my entire trip to Las Vegas. And if you want to see the actual Hookah Battle and stuff, then check out youtube.com/Hookah Battle. And all three of the events that I recently hosted, the online events for the interior design lounges and shops, are also on there, as well as the actual Hookah Battle, where they turned a woman into a hookah. So you're going to want to check that out.
And if you're a Marvel fan, they also turned Thor's hammer into a hookah.
Legally, that was not Thor's
hammer. And
they converted a hammer into a hookah.
Elias this weekend will be watching Half Girlfriend, so we'll be getting a review next Tuesday, guys, when we're back.
Sure.
I believe it. I'll tune in for that.
Like I said, I want to thank Matt for joining us. We'll be seeing Matt pretty soon again on our show.
If Elias says he enjoyed the movie, are you going to watch it?
Probably not.
Okay. I guess I'm going to have to do what I do with Paul and just come down to Idaho.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, but from everybody here at Hookah Heat Weekly, Weekly Wrestling Heat, we are officially out. Peace, guys.